Wait, we've already started?
We've already started.
Okay.
What are you...
Sorry.
You're like, all right.
I only noticed now that you're doing the welcome to Nightly News.
No.
All right. Welcome to Nightly News.
We're not...
Oh, wait. What day
It's
is it today? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday?
It's Wednesday. Welcome. Shall I do the intro then? Welcome to Night's Watch and our episode 2 review of the Book of Boba Fett. If you haven't seen the first one, then go watch it. And if you haven't seen the episode, that's okay. You don't need to really see this episode. But there's full spoilers, by the way. Like,
Lots of spoilers.
This isn't this is a long form,
Yeah.
deep dive into our opinions of the episode.
We're literally like going to break it down like scene by scene. Well, I'm doing it scene by scene. He's doing it frame by frame, apparently.
In some aspects, yeah, I actually do. I did rewind some and look at stuff.
Can I ask one question?
Yep.
Did you count the speeders?
No.
Oh.
I was going to.
Me too. I was going to, but I'm like, I can't be.
but I was like, I feel like no matter... I assumed that there would be more speeders than he actually got.
Yeah, I assumed that too.
I swear there was.
I saw like 3 blow up, and I thought he only bought
5.
And
then, and then 2 more showed up at the end.
Yeah,
anyways, we're getting ahead of ourselves. But yeah, there was a few aspects where I paused and looked and counted. I did count some crowds, but with the speeder chase, I probably should have done that. Maybe...
Yeah.
I'll be more Putin next episode on to make sure that I really analyse stuff like that.
Yeah, so we'll start with the Interrogating the Assassin.
Yeah, so it opens up and we did a recap and they caught the assassin.
Yep.
Or one of the assassins.
My question is this.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of assassin uses completely non-lethal weapons? So non-lethal, you can be beaten and poked with them over and over again. And you are completely fine. Yeah.
I thought the exact same thing. For assassins, they don't carry very many dangerous weapons.
No
and apparently,
blasters.
they're very... It's the name, they're very sought after, they're very stoic there.
Yeah.
But apparently, they're not very, what's the word?
They can only operate in one area.
Yeah, not productive.
Yeah. Effective?
Effective, that's the word, yeah.
That's the word you're looking for?
Yeah, effective.
Wow.
Sorry, the sugar needs to kick in.
Okay. I've got some pills that might help. So, yeah. They're so oh, damn it. Now it's happened to me.
Ineffective.
Not ineffective. Infatal.
Infatal? Yeah, okay, yeah, it works, yeah.
Undangerous. That even if someone blows themselves up in their circle of shields, they're fine.
They're still fine! If anything, there should be, like, guards.
Yeah.
They should protect people because of how well they are at preserving life.
Yeah, exactly. They should be doctors.
I mean, we haven't seen them heal anyone, but I guess...
We haven't seen them kill anyone either.
That's true.
Did they kill a single They didn't kill a single person.
No.
Except themselves.
Yeah, basically. So, how did you feel about the interactions with Boba Fett and this assassin and the robot and Fennec and all that?
I'm sick of people second-guessing and giving Boba advice. This dude is meant to be like a herald of the criminal underworld, you know? He is a big guy in the criminal underworld, you know? At least for us, you know? Like for you, he's a big guy, right? For me, he's a big guy.
He's, probably taller than both of us.
Yeah. Where was I going? Yeah, it makes no sense that...
This other assassin lady's just giving him advice.
Well, not just that, but maybe the assassin lady, it makes sense. Even though she's an Imperial, technically, isn't she? Wasn't she an Imperial?
What was she? Yeah, I think she was, but now she's not.
Also, her sniper looks like something straight out of Mass Effect. Yeah, and the robot. I'm sick of that robot giving him advice. You're a robot, dude.
Well, the robot... That's the thing. Like, a part of me... With robots in Star Wars, you have to understand that they're not like robots anywhere else. They have personalities, and they speak out of terms, and a lot of them are not functional.
Every robot that came to me and did that, I'd shoot one until I found the one that didn't. Yeah. And that's a good robot.
Yeah, until you found your R2.
Yep.
But even then he does stuff.
He's beeps and words.
So I agree. I feel like... Look, I think Boba's interrogation was quite intimidating. He was, on the knee being like, "Who are you?" I think it would have been better if he had his helmet on. Again, I just feel like that shows kind of a warrior's face. You can't read him. It's the same thing with poker and, wearing a hoodie and sunnies and stuff. It's harder to read who's trying to interrogate you, and it makes him more threatening, I think, having that helmet. So when it's his facial expressions, I think he's very emotive, and he's got that Maori, New Zealander...
Maori?
Maori.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
You racist. You
I mispronounced. Sorry, I'm not very good with my R's.
Can we pause 1 second?
What?
I have something in my eye. I want to come out.
Okay.
It's like I think it's like a hair, or what are the eyelashes called? Yeah, eyelashes.
Whatever an eyelash is called. Yes, an eyelash.
It's gone into a better part of the eye. Yeah, you ever see that picture? It's like, an eyelash is in your eye and you're trying to get rid of it and it goes away, and then you're just like imagining it like they're all behind your eye.
yeah, no, I've seen that.
That's
yeah,
scary.
funny.
I don't want that to be the case.
But no, so I think the actor for Boba Fett, he can pull off Boba.
Oh yeah, man.
Being a scary villain.
Yeah.
I think Fennec's comments, especially when they were talking about the assassins, and she's like, "Oh, it's just the name." She felt like my comment was, she feels like an Android user talking about Apple.
Yeah, true.
She's like,
but at the same
it's just
time,
the name. They're just people as well. Like,
yeah, they were very ineffective. So her assessment of they're just
yeah, no, her assessment is not
correct,
uncalled for. But
okay, well, you know what? I take back what I said about. She's allowed to offer advice in my book now because she called that one.
In regards to the assassins, I think she's calling out. Later down the book, where they're talking about like the Fets, not the Fets, the Huts and stuff. That felt very conflicting with me, but we'll get that.
Wait, Hudson? Who's Hudson?
Huts, the Huts.
Oh, Huts. I said Hudson stuff.
No, no.
Okay.
The Huts.
Okay.
Later, she kind of talks with Boba, and the conversation kind of doesn't go anywhere, and it just feels like they're giving out advice that he didn't need, and he's saying stuff that it's basically just a narrator speaking through characters, basically. Is what that conversation was. But sometimes when she does speak out of time or out of term, she just feels a bit bratty, sitting there being like, and yeah, I feel like she should be. And later in the episode, she does a good job of just sitting back and being quiet and looking like the muscle.
Yes.
But other times when she speaks, and she speaks too much with Boba, I feel like then it's not a meeting room. This is an interrogation right now. You don't want to talk with your boss about stuff. You're doing the job right now.
Yeah. Also, if she knows who they are, then he should probably know who they are. They're both in the same business.
Yeah, exactly. But in the interrogation, Boba, he's very controlled. You can tell he's got the respect and intimidation, but then she kind of takes control, and she's the one that pulls the latch to open the trapdoor and stuff. So she kind of takes charge of the whole situation, which, Boba's sitting on the chair. I think you should let him be the one that does stuff like that. It is a partnership, I guess, and you can kind of... Okay. And I know what's going to happen here, okay? And
see, that would be ruling with fear.
Yeah.
He wants to rule with respect.
But she rules with fear.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to. She can do that, fine.
It's a partnership, though.
He doesn't condone or condemn it, right? He just lets it happen.
Bull crap.
He just lets it happen.
He just lets it happen. That's me. I let stuff happen. I just go with the flow.
No, you don't.
Don't
When
I?
you go with the flow, mistakes happen, okay? I'm the one that goes with the flow. You're the one that's like, all right, like,
Those are the technical aspects of things, but in life...
Really?
Yeah.
You go with the flow?
In life, I go with the flow.
I'm sorry, you don't seem the type to go with the flow.
Really?
Yeah.
People have said I'm very chill.
People who go with the flow, you look at them and you just know.
Maybe it's just a different environment. In other environments, maybe I'm more chill.
I go with the flow.
Where
I so go with the flow that I'm like basically... I'm out in open sea, man.
You're the ocean, basically.
Someone help
You're the ocean. But yeah. And so then he falls into the pit.
Yep, there's nothing in there.
There's nothing in there, which I'm glad. I'm glad they didn't just have a Sarlacc there just chilling. It's not a Sarlacc. That's the other pit. Rancor.
You know what would have been cool? If he fell into the Rancor's corpse. How'd they get it out of there?
Oh, I'd probably sold it. Probably would have been worth a bit.
The Rancor's dead. How did they get it out of there? That's the question. How? They call it a butcher or something?
I mean, they get it in there. They obviously have to get it out.
That's true. Yeah, okay.
And who knows? We don't know. The last manager of the establishment wasn't the best, so...
He probably... Oh, he didn't eat it because...
I mean, he did get pretty fat.
But that day is when he died, basically. From being strangled by his...
No, not Jabba.
Oh, you mean the big...
The other...
weird...
I forgot his name.
Human worm.
People are going to call us out for forgetting names in Star Wars stuff. And I just want to say, we are Star Wars fans, but we aren't so switched on that we can just...
I remember his name.
Remember his name?
It was Bing Bong.
Okay. Anyways, so we find out that it's the man. The man's the one that put the assassination call on him, the bounty on him, I guess.
Did he?
That's what the assassin says. That's the cover-up, maybe. I'm not sure. But they go into the mayor's district, and look, it doesn't feel like Tatooine to me.
Yeah.
It feels like Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
The
whole show feels like Galaxy's Edge.
It really does. And some people might think that's a compliment in me saying that, like, Galaxy's Edge is so good it feels like Star Wars. No, it's saying that they've turned Star Wars into more of a theme park.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel real.
Where's the danger?
It just feels like it's a set piece. And there's parts, so when they're walking up to the mayor's office, I guess, I counted about 35 extras, like on the sides of them when they're walking through. But you can tell where the CGI starts because there's no people there.
Oh.
So you can see, like, people near the buildings walking around, sitting on tables. But once you get to the mayor's part, there's just no... What do you call it?
People.
Crowds. No actors. But then when they cut to the next shot, then there's crowds there because that part's an actual real set. So there's just little details that, look, if you're watching the show, you probably can't notice it. You can feel something's off, but that's analysis. I thought that, if you have people in the background even further walking around, it would feel more lively. And, having different alien species, and I guess because it's upper class, they want to feel more pristine and clean.
If George Lucas was working on this, he would have fixed it in post.
Yeah.
He would have.
He would have. And
might not
guess
look
what?
too good, but...
No, it would have looked good. Because they were really good at fixing things in post. For the time, let's be real. For the time, they were very good at fixing things in post.
But CGI Luke Speeder heading into Tatooine for the 2004, re-release of... How do I know this?
Star Wars.
Episode 4. Like, you remember the CG speeder?
Yeah.
Do you remember how do you know how they did the speeder effect back in the old days?
In the old days, yeah.
Do you know how they did it?
They had
mirrors.
That's right, yeah, because they did the... Yeah. Man, some of the
cool.
VFX were amazing back then.
Yeah.
But no...
Anyway,
that's getting off the point. We can talk about...
There. Inside the mayor's office, so, first thing, right?
Yep.
Why wasn't the... who do you call a person? Not administration.
The secretary?
Secretary, yeah. Just some neckbeard looking dude. Like, you had Oz as your secretary.
It doesn't...
Either have a big tough guy bodyguard or a beautiful, Twi'lek lady.
True.
But no, you literally had Ethan Klein.
Good old John from down the street.
Yeah, John from down the street, not Josh from down the street. Guy had a white mother underneath the counter. A Monster Energy drink, yeah, whatever.
But he felt very, corporate, and it felt like a corporate company was making a corporate joke.
Yeah.
They're like, those corporate people, with their appointments and meetings and whatever. Isn't that funny?
Some guy wearing a suit watching this with his kids like, hey, that's every day of my life.
Working for Disney.
Yeah.
He's one of the white collars.
Yep.
But I like when he walks in, Boba's wearing the helmet. He's got his whole prowess that he has. He's very intimidating. And he demands what he wants. He goes, I want to see the mayor.
Hey, he had a gun this time.
Yeah, he had a gun. He had the whole thing. And it was sitting there. He rested his arm on his other arm.
Like in the movie!
Yeah! Because guess what?
What?
It felt like the Boba that we all knew and loved. Yeah, joking about corporate stuff. And you can see when they walk into the mayor's office, the symbolism of the mayor has become the new Jabba.
The symbolism of it?
Well, yeah, because he's sitting on his kind of smaller throne. You've got this weird alien guy who has a translator and he's speaking language.
Yeah.
He's got the guy with the weird thingy, a different alien species, but still...
Yeah, I guess it is
It's very symbolic of how Jabba once was.
Conceptual symmetry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, also, I wrote down, he just walks right into Mayor's territory, not fearing a trap. This is the guy that apparently tried to kill him. Very, very unsuccessfully. So unsuccessfully.
Maybe that's why he was so confident to go in, because he's like, if there's more people going in, then we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so last episode I was really annoyed at how much Boba spoke, and kind of his words were, like mine are in this video. Sometimes they get jumbled up a lot, and they're too contrived. This is why I like to be a man of few words, because then everything I say has meaning. But once I have to say more than a sentence, then it starts to get too contrived, and then I'm like, oh, what do I say?
I agree with you, yes.
Yes.
Brevity is the soul of wit.
Yes.
People think that, but they're actually wrong. Brevity is the soul.
Wow.
Or, simply, as the existentialist would say, brevity is.
But I like what Boba says in this episode up until we go to the flashbacks when he talks too much again. Because in here he walks in and the mayor's like, oh, who are you? And he's like, you damn well know who I am.
Yeah, hey, who could forget Boba?
Like,
Imagine it. What? Imagine, it's like if Shad walked in and I'm like, dude, who are you?
and Shad would be like, you know who the hell I am. Like, stuff like that. Again, it feels like that this was written by someone else or that they read the last script. So this doesn't happen in shows, because I know that shows don't work this way, but it feels like they made the first episode, they're like, yeah, Boba doesn't feel right, we need to give him less lines and more powerful structure, and so they've done it in this episode.
Well, that's probably an issue with using different directors every bloody episode. You know, like, because directors make changes on the fly. And if you're, you know, if you don't have singular vision, stuff gets messed around. And Disney should have learnt their lesson from the bloody Last Jedi. Apparently they haven't.
Yeah, just a sequel trilogy in general, you should learn to have a plan.
Yeah.
Which I feel like they do have for Mandalorian. And the whole, like, kind of in-between universe. I think what they're going to try to do is fix the mistakes of the sequels, or completely retcon them and make something completely different.
I don't think they'll do that.
You think they'll retcon it?
No.
No?
No. Too big to fail. These companies, when they make mistakes, it's not their problem. You're just racist and bigoted. That's how it works, man. They will not ever fail until they fail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then they go through some discussion, they shoot the guy, and then basically the man's just saying, like, oh, you're a bounty hunter, you're not the crime lord of this area. At least, okay, although it's a small sum of money, at least he gives him a carry bag to hold the money in this time.
Yeah.
It's not in the helmet.
I have money for you, take your helmet off.
Exactly. And again, I love that Boba's helmet stays on for this. And then there's this really... I actually love the tension in between this. This felt like a really good Boba Fett moment for me, because he's talking with this guy who basically is the new Jabba the Hutt, and he's not respecting him. And Boba's... This is his time now. He's like, all right, I'm going to start showing my two stripes. And there's this great line from Boba. He says, I am no fool, Mokshaz, and those who thought otherwise no longer draw breath. Oh. Like, that's a pretty sick line. You gotta, like, doesn't take off the helmet. He just remains stoic and controlled, and his words have power. And I feel like, although the mayor's trying to be all like, oh, I'm better than you, Boba's like, no, you're not. You're new to this town and this game. I've been in this for the long run. Like, I am a man making my way through the universe.
Yeah.
And you're not going to screw me over because I've done some stuff.
Quite a Jango Fett.
Yeah.
Nice. That's his dad.
Yeah.
Not many people know that, because they don't watch Star Wars.
And then the mayor says, basically, go to the other place that they gave you the money with the helmet, and you'll see how hard it is to run a family. To organize a family. Basically.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
I think they just wanted him to be in that location.
Yeah,
and
they
so
probably filmed all this on the same day.
They're like, how do we get him to go to this place? We'll just tell the mayor to tell him to go there.
Yeah.
That's something that I guess, you know, is a bit inconsistent with understanding why he's going to certain places.
I wrote that down too. Go see this person, you know... wait, no. First it was, are you so sure I sent the assassin? Go see this person who you saw before. He goes see this person. The guy's like... Boba says... Mayor sent me here, as if I should know why I'm here.
He's lost! He actually...
Call an adult, I need help.
No, that's true. I feel like Boba, although when he walks into a place, especially with the mayor's office, felt awesome, his locations and the structure of events felt very disjointed, and he's lost. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know where to go.
Why go there? And for what purpose?
And
Just
we see
for
this...
Hutts to show up?
Yeah, we see this... Exactly. And we see this through the episodes, I think, is that Boba Fett doesn't have a purpose. He doesn't have an end goal. Like, yes, he wants to be the crime boss lord.
But what does that mean?
But he doesn't have any objectives. Like, you can have a dream, but he doesn't have a goal. Like, at least with Mandalorian, it's like, okay, I've got to get Grogu to a Jedi. And so he's doing what he needs to do, uses all of his resources that he can. Boba is just going around being like, I'm the crime boss now. And everyone's like, nah.
They should have made like a revenge story or something, you know?
Yeah, like he needs... There isn't any... What's the word the writers use? There's no stakes.
There's no stakes.
There's
And he has no connection, basically, to the world around him apart from these sand people, which is why they're the best part of the episode.
Yeah. But so he goes to the other place, they all freak out, and he's like, why are you freaking out here? Like, why are you all sweating? And then you hear the drums, and everyone goes quiet.
Is that what they were freaking out about?
Yeah. Because the huts are showing up. And the huts are scary.
The huts are scary?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if they got you alone, they'd beat you up. These slug people that are huge.
I know, that's the funny thing about... But, like, Boba Fett can literally, like, rip your head off and, like, end you, and when he walks into a bar, no one does anything. So I feel like there should be more of a correlation between how people perceive Boba and the huts, especially when he actually confronts them. Which I really like, because, again, Fennec, she stands back, she lays there with her gun, ready to do what she needs to do, but she doesn't take control like she's had in the past. Which is good because Boba's front and center, looking all like if I saw this in the street, right? If there's these super powerful slug demon
creatures,
crime lords,
yeah,
like these are the like baddest of the bad you can get, and there's one single guy in Mandalorian armor, mind you, so he's still a badass because of it, stands up to them. Is that not like a sign of respect? And would you not be kind of intimidated by this new local crime lord?
You know what? I'd be confused by the whole situation.
Yeah, you wonder like why you're on Tatooine? Why aren't you in the studio?
Yeah, where am I?
You'd be like, what? I'm in Star Wars now?
I can see desert, so I know I'm still in WA. Oh, wait, yep, there's more WA creatures. Yeah. Oh, wait, I see the two floating slugs. Oh, look, it's Gina Reinhardt and Clive Palmer. Huh, I am in WA. Okay. This must be Midland. And there's a Kiwi. I'm in WA.
Again, Australia, especially WA, is the land of Star Wars.
Yep. A long, long time ago in a country far, far away.
It works. I'm also impressed how intimidating they can actually make two giant slugs. Like, they come around, they're slow. They're obviously big creatures, but, you know, I don't feel like it's something weirdly...
They are personification of hedonism.
Yeah, like, it's very off-putting to see them.
Yeah.
And I feel uncomfortable.
The one that I was like, ooh, look at that guy, was the Wookiee. Yeah, what was his name again? Jono? I forgot his name.
I don't know his name.
I assume because you get all the names. Was he a Genosian or a Wookiee? That's a new meme.
I feel attacked. Thanks, comment section. Sorry, I made a mistake.
Yeah, every mistake, write it down, put my name in it, I'll read it, and I'll...
Never forget.
Never forget.
But again, I mean, Boba... When the Wookiee shows up, Boba, again, comes in clutch with, like, some awesome lines. He says... You can bring as many gladiators as you wish, but these are not the pits of Dor, and I'm not a sleeping Trandoshan guard.
That annoyed me, okay?
That annoyed you, that line?
This is like some Star Trek, like, you know, this reminds me of a time on the fields of Hamdan, when the blood relic of the blood...
I was going to research what any of those things meant, but I forgot.
I got the Mustafar reference he made. I got that one. I've seen that place in the movie.
Yeah.
Right? But
then afterwards, he just says, "This territory is mine." That is that perfect sentence. So again, I feel like this episode was picking up the slack last time with the way that Boba speaks and communicates. But as we said before, sometimes it feels like we're just going from scene to scene, not knowing where the journey is taking us or why we're going there. Because again, with the flashbacks, I feel like what would be more powerful is that something happens in real time to him, and he's like, all right, I've got to go heal myself up, and then a backstory or something explains either a goal or purpose or helps him figure out something. But instead, it's just, we're taking a break from the current timeline to take you to, so you're more engaged for the episode.
Yeah.
So, you know, you could do more clever writing to kind of coincide between the two timelines instead of just... I mean, if you want to just give Boba more character development, just give him the whole time frame of the backstory.
That's what I
don't
want.
cut between the two.
I want that.
Yeah.
I didn't care about what happened after Mandalorian. I
No.
cared about what happened after he fell in the bloody hole.
Yeah, that's what we all wanted to know, and we do know.
Yeah.
But I wanted to keep watching that story, and I know some people don't actually enjoy it. They don't like it. But
Wait, they don't like the Sand People stuff?
No, they
That's
don't
my
like it.
favourite parts.
Yeah.
These Sand People are interesting. Everyone's like, dude, sympathy for them. I have sympathy for them. I love, and sorry, like we'll get into it later, but I
Yeah.
love how they address it in this.
Yeah,
They
I actually, there's parts, when I first watched this episode a little while ago, like, I love the aspect of the relationship with the Sand People and Boba, and, like, okay, sure, it makes sense in the older trilogy that they're just these... Their purpose was just to be monsters and something to avoid.
Look at the times they came out.
Yeah.
You know, Afghanistan, Soviets, they were basically the Mujahideen.
Yeah.
The brave fighters of Afghanistan.
Exactly. And now, in more modern terms, where there's a lot more awareness of culture,
Yeah, there's a lot more
heritage, and ancestry.
I don't think what they've done with this, for me, you know, usually I'd have a bad faith interpretation of this stuff, but not for the Sand People, because they're an unexplored area of Star Wars, at least for me, and so I like seeing their culture and what they do and stuff.
And at least makes sense with Boba Fett's story, with him, he's stuck in Tatooine Desert. Who is he going to run into? If it's not the Jawas, it's going to be the Sand People.
Them.
Yeah.
There's little rat people stealing stuff.
So yeah, for me it makes sense. It's not like they're... And like they're not... I don't know, I feel like people will just call me out saying that they're not being preachy, but I feel like that they're not.
Some things they are, some things are not. You
Yeah,
know,
like
it's less. I'm noticing it less for me.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So basically, there's a confrontation with the Hutts, and again, it doesn't make sense to me that people fear and respect the Hutts, but when Boba stands up to them, literally says, "This is my land," and they go, "All right, fine, we'll deal with you later because violence is bad for business." Which
is stupid. They're crime lords. If anything, violence is actually good for business.
That's
violence drives prices
that is
up.
their business.
Yeah.
Crime is their business.
Yeah. Anyway, the top of any hierarchy is always defended through violence. Always.
Yeah.
Any hierarchy.
And then afterwards, Boba and Fennec, they have a conversation that it just seems like it was written for the slower viewers who don't know what's going on.
What did it say? Because I'm a slower viewer and I didn't know.
Or they were like, Boba's like, maybe that'll be the end and they won't come back. And Fennec's like,
sure.
Do you really believe that? And he's like, no. It's like, okay,
why did you say that?
What was the point of any of that conversation?
Yeah.
That was wasted air.
Can we
and
think
air
of something
time.
better right now? Didn't expect to see them again. Now, you're Fennec, you're the lady. What does she say to that?
Oh, well, next time they show up, I'll shoot them. But they also talk about, like, you know, you need permission to kill the Hutts. But it's like...
Why?
I mean, Leia didn't.
Yeah. Well, she's a princess, so... And she was, like, naked at the time.
She was enslaved, so I
You're
guess
gonna kill
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
You don't even need to have the conversation. They can just leave, and then you go on with whatever your objective is, which we actually don't know right now, because he's still kind of lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boba Fett. Lost. Wandering. Not alone, though.
And then we go to the story of the Sand People.
Finally.
So he's now staying with them. He's no longer a slave. He's kind of gone up the ladder now.
They're teaching him how to...
They're learning, how to fight.
Well, I mean, if anything, they're kind of teaching him how to fight really badly. Teach him how to not fight, you know, how to lose a stick. It kind of reminded me of, what's that movie? The Samurai. Last of the Samurai. Like, they do this in every movie where it's like, you know, outcast joins the tribe.
And then they start learning stick movements.
Yeah, but they're all really bad.
Yeah.
Shad will have a field day with these. Yeah.
I mean, I was even looking at, like, there's a part where they swing down his feet, and so he gets on one leg. And I'm like, okay, one thing I've learned with, you know, one sword lesson with Shad is that when, like, to dodge, you just want to step back as far away as you can. You don't want to go on one leg and just try and dodge whatever, because you'll lose balance, they're going to get you. Which, you know, they end up just dropping him by pulling his other leg and underneath him. And so, look, you could probably have... All it takes is a fight choreographer to go, okay, what is logical? Not what looks cool, what is logical?
They need Spock on set, man. ASAP.
Like, that's all you need, and then it can be so much more grounded and enjoyable to watch, because a lot of us people who are like, I know how to take you on if you're just going to be doing that move.
Yep.
So that's the fighting scene, and I'm sure Shad could do it in a lot more articulate.
Oh
and,
yeah. He'll like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he'd probably even give us better ways to do it as well.
I mean, it's not too different from just fighting with sticks or hammers or something like that. You know.
Like they're doing this whole weird, like two-handed thing.
Yeah, very ritualistic.
But yeah, and it makes sense for at the end of the show we do have like a ritual, more tribal dance.
I like that. I like that.
That makes sense in that aspect because it's not attacking or defending someone else.
Yeah, it was tribal
when you're
dance.
actually training to fight, then you should actually have proper training practices.
About the tribal war dance, I appreciate that because the guy they got doing, he's Maori, right?
Yeah.
And the Maori Kiwis and a lot of islanders have, the haka.
Yeah.
Which is a tribal war dance, which looks and sounds and is very scary. If you ever seen one in person, they're awesome. Yeah, search haka. All the Kiwi rugby players, they do it all the time.
Yeah, they do it at rugby and stuff.
It's epic.
But seeing it in person is a whole other experience because you feel the strength from their voices and the slapping on their...
Yeah, chest and legs and everything. It's awesome. Anyway, yeah.
And then the train shows up. See, I have an issue with this episode, and that's that a lot of sand people die, but the population never seems to go down. It always fluctuates. There's either like 5 people just chilling, or there's 10 of them, 3 are dead, and it happens like 4 or 5 times in the
I
episode.
think the American military had the same problem. Never mind, actually.
You're going to stop being a joke there?
Yeah.
And now he knows their language. He does the sign language and everything. I think some people should know that although you might think it's unrealistic, as someone who has been in a foreign land with foreign language, your brain starts to work over time so you can understand and be understood. And when there's no one else who speaks your language and you're in that society, I reckon you'll be able to pick it up pretty quickly.
Yeah. How do you start? Like, apple? Nose? How do you do it?
I mean, for me, it's a bit different because you have an actual class and you start to learn basics. But with lots of people, it's just understanding actions or objects. So, for example, with train, I reckon you could... or even asking, like... Or finding a way that you can ask that person, what does that mean in your language?
Okay.
And so once you can do that, then they can start explaining...
The hand signal I use for, like, what is this is simple. Like...
Yeah. Although sometimes, and look, this is just a thing of, if you want a linguist on site, you should probably do that, but there's parts where he says a whole sentence, and he says train in the sign language, which, if you were actually speaking to them in that language and all you said was train, and then the guy's like, yes, it's like, you don't know what he's saying about the train.
That is a train.
Like, yes, train. But his whole plan was like, I'm going to leave, I'm going to get some stuff, I'm going to do this and that, okay, train.
Yeah.
So...
Do you have any idea what this guy's saying?
No, he just said train. But look, that's something I can excuse for the fact that how the heck do you communicate with things that go...
I didn't know you could speak their language. That's very good.
You know what's a fun tidbit about the original New Hope?
What?
With the Sand People? The original attack with Luke was just one... and then kept going because it was so hot and the guy was dehydrating and stuff, and so in post what they did was they played it back and forth and made it 3 more because it was so hot. They're like, okay, we'll just in post we'll just make his arms go up and down again.
Nice
fun fact. And then so that happens. We see the train go by.
They do a drive-by, basically.
And then at night time, they see this. He sees the speeders drive off, and then that's when he says, "I'm going to go do this thing. I'll be back by sunrise." And they're like, "Okay."
That was very convincing sign language, especially sunrise.
Well, yeah, I remember some of the sunrise. He said,
"How much did you study this episode, man?"
I mean, it's fresh in my mind, so some things are very clear to me.
The only sign language bit that I caught onto was when he said "me."
Yeah. Me.
Yeah.
You. Dune. Or he's like sands of the Dune Sea. It was quite poetic.
Most of this episode was interpretive dance.
It basically was. But so then he goes to, I guess, this little mini bar. And I gotta admit, okay, Boba is still a badass without his armor. He walks in with a stick and a rifle.
I think he mixed those two up, didn't he? That's why I will borrow and return in excellent condition your rifle and your fighting stick. and then he mixed them up, and one of them broke.
Sad.
Yeah.
I guess the two human characters I felt sympathy towards.
I didn't.
But part of me is like, okay, you just leave.
Yeah.
Why are you there?
Yeah. You're there for a night out, and then a local biker gang.
It's like being at an Airbnb with my wife, and then a bunch of thugs come.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just stand there and be like, it's not right! It's not right! Also, okay, so Boba went there to steal the speeders. Did he hear the commotion? He's like, oh, I guess I'll go in and beat them up too.
Maybe he needed their keys.
I don't think so, though. I don't think they've ever needed keys for
Have you ever
speeder.
seen them use keys?
No.
Have you ever seen them not use keys?
Yeah. On Endor.
Okay, look, maybe you're right. Wait,
like,
what do you mean on Endor?
On Endor, they just... All the time, the Ewoks hop on the speeders and they just go, woo!
Yeah, well,
and,
to be fair, though, they weren't exactly turned off by the people.
Yeah,
They?
but they were still floating. They're always floating. They're
I don't know,
always
man.
floating.
I'm just...
Where does that power source come from? So this is where it starts to go from sci-fi to science fantasy. It's like, there's things you can't explain.
Things can float.
George, I'm sorry, there's things you can't explain through science.
They use negative gravity. They use anti-gravity technology.
Okay, I'm sure
Okay,
there's a way you can explain it.
It's helium.
I just think that...
It's helium, that's what it is.
It's helium that makes the bikes float.
Yeah.
So yeah, part of me was like, okay, if you're going to steal the bikes, why go in there to... And also, okay, you can, because you've been in fights, you can kind of confirm this for me. Are there ever moments where you just walk into a room and start fighting everyone?
Yeah.
Without saying a single thing?
Family reunions
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that, yeah.
Because Boba goes in, and then they're all just like, oh, okay, he wants to fight. And then he wrecks them all, and then he takes a sip and leaves. Doesn't say a word to any of the people, doesn't ask... For someone to be very sympathetic and, like, helping, you know, growing as a character, he doesn't do much for the actual people who are...
Well, he beat the crap out of a bunch.
Yeah, but, like...
He did what he could.
I just find it weird that he goes to steal speeders, but then before that just goes into a room, beats up everyone, absolute crap, and then just leaves.
Well, what if they heard him stealing, you know?
I mean, he's already gone, though. If he has got the bikes, they're speeders, what are they going to do, chase him?
They might come after the sand people. Well, I guess they doubly will now because...
Well, they wouldn't know, though, because he's just some dude in a white...
He showed up with a sand person's rifle and stick.
I mean, he could have got it from them, just stolen it from them, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But, again, that's something where I feel like you could have given a bit more motive to do. I think it was just meant to be a cool action sequence, but there wasn't anything behind it.
Yeah, he just broke someone's, like, glass panel.
Yeah.
Threw some people around.
Punched some guys, left.
Yeah.
That's basically what most of this page is. But okay, one thing I do like that makes sense is when he's come back with the speeders, some people start to freak out.
Oh yeah.
They're like, "Oh crap, what's going on?" But then they get their little binoculars and they see it's Boba Fett, and then the guard goes down. For me, I'm like, that makes complete sense. That is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about, you know, make the world... Because have your characters be logical in all aspects.
You know what? Do you know why they were freaking out?
Why?
They looked, and then when he actually they showed up and he walked up to them, they're like, "Running where you were, dude.
Yeah.
You said train, and then you just took off."
Train, sunrise. It's midday. Where have you been this whole time?
Did you steal those? We don't like that.
And they start wrecking them anyway.
Yeah,
So he's like,
yeah.
"No, it's mine. It's mine." And then he ends up giving them to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Okay, we're going to stop the train." And then there's the training sequence. What did you think of the training sequence?
I like the fact that they actually tested the distance to jump to the speeder. That was good. It felt like a bit like a Western movie.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I'm training the Indians to fight the train, or I'm training the local town to fight the train. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually, there are moments in this where, because this is my second watch through, and I had to make sure that I was doing it in a very analytical way, there were moments, and this is one of the moments where I started to turn that mind off and just start enjoying the show, which I think is really good. That maybe I was just bored because it had been so long, and I was just like, oh, I need to relax a bit. But this is a moment where I was like, okay, I enjoyed it, but I did rewind it a bit because, so when the sand person jumps, I understand this was just editing, and they were just working with what
He
footage they
landed,
got.
and then he just, whoa, I fell off. Yeah,
He landed, sat down, and then it cuts to him going, "Oh!"
Yeah, I saw that
was
too.
like, oh, you were so close, guys. So close. You had so many takes of him missing. You could have just done another take of that. Because I think the one where he sits down and then falls off is the same. The two separate videos that have been cut together.
Yeah.
And where he sits down is actually the final take.
Yeah, probably.
So that... but yeah, then again, with them training and with combat, I'm sure Shad would have said something. Lots of twirling, moving legs that would become imbalanced. Where you could just move your whole body. So yeah, there's comments there that Shad could make. But
also, there was a part where she used her hands behind her back with the stick, which was probably the dumbest thing you can do with a weapon.
The whole body is then...
Yeah, like the whole stick was behind her back like that, and it's come through this side from behind her back. That's stupid. Yeah. Don't do that.
It's not smart. That's not how you defend yourself in combat.
Yeah, keep the weapon between you and the enemy.
And then the train... Oh, okay, and so when the train shows up, they all get in their speeders. Did you feel that the CG was good in this show?
Yeah. Well, there was everyone's like, especially when they were far away and they're approaching the train. I was like, what the hell's going on there? But then when I got closer, it was like, okay, as my eyes are less.
Really?
Yeah.
I was the opposite.
Really?
Far away and like faster moving motion for me looked fine.
No. I mean, like, so there was one shot where like they come over the dunes.
Yeah.
And the camera started far away and it's coming straight at the camera.
Yeah.
And it looked weird to me. But then when they were a lot closer to the camera, it looked okay.
Oh, okay. Because for me, when they came with the dunes, that looked fine to me. But the part where there's like the shot of Boba with little sand people, it looks off because the lighting isn't right.
Really?
I paused it and I analysed it. And so the speeders' bikes, the shadows underneath them, which means that the sun would be kind of above them. But then Boba's lit from behind and you can see the like rim from the side. And so despite... It looks a bit green screen despite being probably filmed not on a green screen but like an LED screen. So.
I hate to be that guy, but they do have two suns, so it is physically possible.
But they're both in the same spot, kind of at all times.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like they wouldn't be like perpendicular.
In that case, remember the part where the little sand person signals with the thing? The sun's behind him. So like the sun's behind him when he signals.
No, I saw that as well. There was a bit of...
It's not hard to just like, let's... move the camera from over here to over there.
With the sun's facing, and it makes sense.
And you have to turn around and do that.
And I feel like it annoys me with this because I feel like, and I've seen behind the scenes with stuff like this, they do a lot of storyboarding. So they basically draw out every frame they want to do. They do lots of previs as well with fight scenes. They'll animate lots of stuff before they actually go out. And they said it's really good for actors at least to see, okay, I know what it's going to look like in the end, and therefore I can emphasize or, you know...
I can imagine there's sand getting into my ear.
Yeah, exactly. And like, okay, the camera's going to come down and do that. But I feel like this one might have been more rushed or had less time because there's elements where, you know, if you would put those clips side by side, you would have known the sun's in different spots, or, okay, we need to make sure the room lighting is better on this one. Just technical things. I reckon this show would have been very pressed for time. I think that they wanted more time for season 3 to get into production, and so they were like, okay, we need a filler Star Wars show that isn't Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I
hope Obi-Wan's good. Like, this is getting slightly better than Mandalorian, because Mandalorian was a complete mess. This is getting better. I hope Obi-Wan is actually great. And also, I can't wait to spend another entire season on a bloody desert planet!
Not true, because Kenobi's going to be on Tatooine. But he's going to meet Vader.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Vader never went back to... Vader never met him again.
Exactly. No, there's going to be another fight with Vader.
Really?
It's confirmed.
Stupid. I sensed something, a presence I haven't felt since... that last time I fought him 2 weeks ago. Like, is that what's going to happen?
Okay, it frustrates me. I'm happy that we're going to do another fight scene with Obi-Wan and Vader because, as a fanboy, what do I want to see except for those two just to clash it out?
I hope it's just like in episode 4 where they're just like...
Dude, I would be fine if it... Well, they both have to make it out.
Yeah.
But I would be fine with a similar fight scene to... I think it's in Rebels. With Obi-Wan and Maul. Have you seen that? That was a
good fight.
Like, it was so... It was like that, but it was so timed and carefully balanced. Like, amazing.
Well, especially since it did a callback to the whole, like, tried to stun him and...
Yeah.
No, he just like, no, jonk, kills him. And he gives him
that's right. So, what I remember analysing, okay, no...
He tried to kill Qui-Gon... He tried to kill Obi-Wan the same way he killed Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
But he didn't
You know why Obi-Wan did it? So what Obi-Wan did was, he did... I can't remember if it was his move first, or Qui-Gon's move first, and then he switched to the other one. So Maul was, like, put off, because he's like, okay, I know what he's going to do. And then he switches, and then he does his thing.
Yeah. That was actually really cool now that I think about it. I want to see that live action. That'd be a cool first episode.
Do that scene live action. I mean, sure.
I'd like it.
We've had, people show up from Clone Wars and stuff.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor is a great actor. I'm sure he'll do it justice.
I think he's not going to be as old as that.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But
they'll give him a white beard though. He'll look like Colonel Sanders. Yeah.
Who knows? But from just talking about Star Wars TV shows, that one I think it's going to be like hour-long episodes.
Okay.
And there's like 6 of them, so we're basically getting our own movie set.
6 hours of desert.
Obi-Wan! I just don't know what they're going to do for those 6 hours. That's a long-ass time.
Whatever it is, he's going to drink some blue milk. He's going to...
But he's Obi-Wan, he's not Luke. Okay. I don't want him drinking milk.
Yeah, I guess.
That's Luke's job.
He's going to interact with sand people, we know that for a fact.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, going back to the show. So, the train shows up, and there's a lot more sand people than I remember there being in this tribe.
Yeah.
Like... It feels like there's 2 tribes. There was the ones who were chilling down before, and then there's got another tribe, or like, sub-tribe that's like now in the hills.
Yeah.
And a lot of them start dying, and again, because the first time the train came, there was a lot of casualties. There was a whole big fire full of bodies.
Yeah, well, a big fire. It's actually a pretty small fire.
A small fire.
It
was about as big as this table.
It looked like there was a small fire, and they just stacked like 50 bodies on it.
50 bodies is a lot.
They're not 50. Like...
20?
Not even 20.
10? 15?
Maybe 7?
No, more than 7.
Seriously?
More than 7? Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, yeah.
And so I'm just confused with the numbers because it feels like, although they're losing a lot of people, and I'm sure it takes a while to grow up as a sand person.
Yeah.
Apparently it's a very big tribe, even though the numbers seem to fluctuate a lot. And so Boba goes to the speeders and the sand people, and they go to hijack the train.
Which I liked that sequence.
Yeah?
I liked it. Yeah.
I feel like, or a few things. I think it was smart having snipers to shoot the train and get them confused.
Yeah.
To distract them. But once they were there, I'm glad they kind of stopped shooting. Because you don't want to be shooting
at your own people. Yeah.
But that same thing, I feel like they didn't distract the train people enough, because as soon as they were there, like at the train, near the people, they could have just gone, bing,
and
like shot the speeder.
They should have approached from the back.
They did it once with Boba's speeder, and also the speeder consistency numbers were so random.
Yeah.
Like it was like 4 coming over, and then
2 of them were destroyed.
All of them were destroyed,
Almost
basically,
all.
except for Boba's.
Yeah,
and then it was.
2 at the end.
And then another guy came, and then 3 others came when the train was destroyed. So I don't know how many speeders they had. Speeder count was a bit inconsistent there.
They should have got all of the They should have got all the sand people to go and get, speeders with him. Because instead of him fighting like 10 dudes, it could just be you could have a cool, action scene with the sand people at night time. That would have been cool.
And you could have kept those people alone, the civilians, and they would have learnt like, oh, sand people actually did something good for us, and then that could create some whole new cultural impact.
Yep.
On this, that would have been cool.
But no, it's just like, we're gonna have Boba go and fight them and break some stuff.
Which I'm not mad at, but again, that at a writer's table, I'd be like, okay, that makes it interesting.
Like imagine like they have a rough night of being a bunch of jerks to these people, and then they're all drunk and it's still nighttime, and they come outside and then you just see the silhouettes of sand people. That would be freaky. I wouldn't want that to happen. Yeah. They're just laser beams everywhere. That would have been sick, but no, we just throw them around a bit.
Yeah.
So then they could have had more speeders. That would have made sense. You leaking, bud?
Yeah! I'm getting excited!
You're not a drummer, don't drill.
So yeah, I counted. So 5 of the 8 in the opening going over the dune, they made it onto the train.
Okay.
And it was 4, and then a 5th one came. For some reason, he lost his friend on the back. And that guy rammed the speeder into the train.
That was cool. That was a female, by the way.
Where his friend, or where their friends were.
Oh.
I was like, oh, I don't think that's maybe from the back or the front, but they were like, "Oh, my friends are there," and then like jumps off to go with them, and then explodes right in front of them.
Witness me.
Yeah, but basically. Like so again, I feel like we could have had a bit more, because the whole reason that they wanted to have this sequence was to show that Boba is smart and he can strategize and do something cool. And I feel like in some of these aspects, it shows that, Boba wasn't like, "Oh, you idiot, what are you doing?" Like, that's not part of the plan or whatever. There's just some things where they were being a bit careless. That's what I was looking for.
What? Ramming the train?
Ramming the train, being right near where those people, with the train people are with blasters.
Yeah, approach from the back.
Approach from the back, the other side, go both sides, so they have to like worry about that as well.
Yeah.
Arrange different things that could make it a little more interesting to watch, and because sometimes in this train sequence, the Sand People, obviously a few of them get hit to begin with, but then they all of a sudden become super powerful beings that can just take on 5 dudes at once inside the train. Like, the power levels are very inconsistent.
To be fair, they seem to be like amphibious fish people. It wouldn't be that hard to fight fish people.
True, they're
unless
very...
they're in water. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And so some of the parts of the train sequence, I was like, okay, what's the plan here? I'm a bit confused, because sometimes you're winning and sometimes you're losing, but I can never tell when you go up against an enemy, is it because you're stronger, or because of the situation, or is it just because the writers want this to happen in this set of beats?
Okay, it could have been easier. They could make this a lot more easy to follow if they started from the back of the train, worked their way to the front of the train.
Exactly.
But they, went from front to back and, all over the place. It's hard to follow.
Yeah, so the Sand People take down 5 guys. Also, none of them have blasters, even though they were shooting outside before. When the Sand Person goes inside the train, no one just thinks to go, boom!
Yeah.
You're dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Again, like, hand-to-hand combat in this world where there's blasters frustrates me a bit, because just do it, Indiana Jones. Bam!
Yeah.
That's all, like, yeah. So
that was they did that because he was sick and he couldn't do there was meant to be an elaborate
really?
fight.
I thought he improvised it.
No, so there was meant to be an elaborate fight.
Yeah.
But he was really sick.
Yeah.
So they're just like, just shoot him. You see, restrictions and problems give you opportunity for creativity.
Yeah.
And so when you give them massive budgets and you can do whatever you want, that's where you start to...
And I've started to see that in the show.
Yeah.
So, one of them is in the train, and the rest are on the top. This train's going way too fast. I feel like they're not moving a bit too agile for a train to go in. And then it goes faster and faster and faster, and they still were just like, whoa! But there's a part where they're basically hiding from these 2 guys who come to the top to shoot them, and then one of them goes down because the Sand Person's down there and attacks them. And I feel like, for example, if we were on top of a train and we were shooting these people, and then you disappeared and went down, I'd probably go, "Who's there?"
Yeah.
But instead the guy's like, boom, boom, boom.
It's literally exactly like this. Like, if someone reached over from underneath the table and pulled us under, and we just did nothing about it.
Exactly.
We just kept recording.
We're like, anyways, and then that's a good little bit we can do. Just little stuff like that where it's like, okay, clearly these guys don't deserve to own a giant train because they can't protect it.
Yeah, in fact, they'll just go antagonize Sand People. Like, oh, we're driving past here. Oh, look, over there. Bang.
Yeah, the enemy I say here is a bit incompetent, while the Sand People are either hit or miss.
Yeah.
Literally, they either get hit or the shot misses them conveniently. And so once they take out those 2 bad guys, they continue to keep going on top of the train to the giant booster rocket. Where I was like, maybe just go underneath, out of harm's way, because as soon as they do that, Boba's like, watch out, and then just gets on fire.
Based off what limited stuff I know about jet engines, is that if you stand anywhere in the
vicinity
of the back of it, you're gonna fly away. It has to expel a lot of force to.
Yeah, so it would have made a lot more sense to go underneath. Although it's smart because later, while they're still on top, more bad guys come further near the rockets. And they know, the same people have learnt now, when we hear this noise is about to boost off, we need to go under. And so when they're doing more fight scenes up top with the fish people, they hear the rocket go, and then the same people are like, we're out of here, and they all go down, and then the rocket blasts the fish people away. So, smart. Kind of. You learn from your mistake, I guess.
Yeah, even though it's still kind of dumb.
You shouldn't have happened to begin with.
Yeah.
So the train is going so incredibly fast. Like, They were going as fast as they could on the speeder to catch up to the train, and the train, I think, went up 2 or 3 more speeds.
What it seemed like to me, because I thought, oh, okay, it's going up in speed, but then it seemed like they were just getting short incremental boosts of speed and then slowing back down and boosting. That's what it seemed like to me, because otherwise they basically seem to be on the same speed after the speed
Every time,
boost.
yeah, because there's parts where like they're going faster, and Boba goes, ah, and then he moves his leg like as if he's on the sailboat.
Yeah.
So
Stupid.
yeah, it's just, and that takes away the weight of the train and the difficulty of the task. Like if Boba's struggling even more, and some people are like holding on to their dear life, when they actually do accomplish that goal of getting back on, it has so much more depth and weight to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the droid. Droids just have such peculiar personalities. Like, the droid is, like, doing all the things, and he's like, oh no, it's gonna blow up! Guess I better just jump out the train.
To go now, my planet needs me, yeah.
Like, I'm okay with that because droids are funny in Star Wars. I think it's dumb programming.
I'm starting a lot like the droids.
Yeah. Maybe it's just Tatooine droids.
No, just droids.
Just droids?
I don't like these soulless creatures. Don't trust robots.
Boba's smart because he uses the stick as leverage to stop the train with the gear thing. Although, lucky for him, it was the right lever to pull. There were many buttons and levers, and he conveniently just saw the biggest one, was like, this will stop it.
It kept flashing back to those power things. Why? I was thinking they were going to blow up or something.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's flashing to them. But anyway.
I mean, I guess it's just the same as, what's his face? Harrison Ford, when they were filming the Force Awakens. And I think it was Finn or someone, the actor, was like, so Harrison, how do I, like, fly the ship? And he's like, kid, are you an idiot? It's acting. You just press some stuff and then make it look cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same aspect, I think.
I've bypassed the compressor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the ship explodes. Stupid movie.
And then so they stop the train. 2 more speeders appear, which, out of nowhere. Maybe the same people were like, these things are nice. Let's go
get some more.
Harold the farmer down there. Here's a few.
Yeah.
Late in the future, Boba's like, why are there 8 now? And they're
they're covered in blood.
Oh.
Oh man, I'm just thinking, right? So you know how they found Boba, right?
Yeah.
And then they dragged him along on the Banthas. Could you imagine next time they go to get prisoners on the speeders and they drag him along? They pull back into camp. Yes, I have arrived with more slaves. It's just a pair of hands on a rope. I want to see that in Star Wars.
Oh, you said the Rosa took a sip, and I was so hard not to just.
That's what I'm aiming for.
Not true. Like, imagine just the next Boba gets tied up and is like, where am I? Just ragdolling across the sea.
Dude, they're gonna have to give their slave skis or something.
Yeah.
Or put them on the front. I don't know.
Oh, that's just a funny image. That's funny. What is?
You ever see someone like come off a water ski?
See, there's parts in this show that try to be funny, but I never laugh.
Yeah.
Something like that would make me laugh, because it's like a whole Ewok thing where they get in the speed and they're like, wow! Like, that's the thing where, like, the sample, they did the whole, like, it's like a banda. That to me felt awkward.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, it was like...
But I think that idea of, same people going to go get more, and then they'd be like, whoa, what are you doing? Or tying, like, someone to the back of it and seeing what happens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they, get prisoners, basically. Now, at this point in time, I'm not sure if there's been any character development for Boba.
Yeah, he's not a murderer. He doesn't kill people anymore, apparently. Until he has to with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, later down the track. So, part of me is a bit confused because we've had all this time with him, but it feels like the same Boba we had at the start of the episode with him being back at the palace and everything.
Yeah, but it feels like a completely different... Like, this is meant to be a few weeks after he falls in the hole from Return of the Jedi, right?
Yeah.
He should still be, willing to kill people. Even Darth Vader had to go up to him and say, no disintegrations.
Yeah.
Stupid.
So, again, I think his character's just a bit misjudged in a lot of... Like, I would have loved to see him make bad decisions and learn from them. And, maybe do something bad to people and then see the reaction, like, the result of his actions. Because I feel like lots of his stuff as a bounty hunter, his actions don't matter, it's the consequence of the job getting that done. Where if in this aspect where he's not a bounty hunter anymore, he's trying to survive, and understanding these same people survive through working together, then I think that's great character development for Boba, because he learns, okay, it would make sense then in the future when he's trying to work together, in a community sense, because he's like, in the Sand People, I made mistakes, I saw that working solo doesn't work, if we can all come together as a family, a tribe, then that's character development there. But for right now, I don't see how Boba has reached where he's at right now, considering the events that we've watched so far.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, he should be pretty upset that he got taken slave by these Sand People. What if it was like a journey from him hating the Sand People to then liking them?
That's what I wanted. I was expecting that, but he seemed so okay with being a slave, and that's why I was confused that he stayed with them after he destroyed the giant lizard monster in the last episode, because it's like, he wouldn't care to stay. He wants to go find his armor and to go back to bounty hunting, because that's what he knows.
Yep.
So, again, motive and character development, it's a little lackluster here. So they have the thugs, and they're like, are you going to kill us? And then he says this really confusing way of like, first you got to answer my question and then we'll see what happens type of...
Yeah.
It was too long-winded.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Like, you could just ignore it and be like, what are you carrying? Do you have spice? And then...
And what even is spice?
It's a drug, basically.
Are they looking to get rid of it, or are they looking to get rid of it slowly?
That spice in Star Wars is like...
Spice melange.
Well, it's kind of like spice in Dune.
Yeah, spice melange.
Yeah. So
it looked identical.
It's sought after. It's very desirable.
But that's the question, though. Do the Sand People not like it? Or
I think Boba doesn't like it because he's probably seen the damage that it causes to...
Does spice cause damage?
Yeah.
What does it do to you?
It's addictive and, like, turns you... I mean, it's just... I haven't actually seen enough to understand what it does.
Look, I'm just interested in the mechanics of this drug.
Yeah.
That's all I want to know.
You want to know what it does?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't know. But I just know
it.
in Star Wars, especially in Clone Wars, it's like spice was the, like...
There's an upper or downer?
Most illegal thing ever. Like, if your spice is only used for medicine in very controlled environments... Or other aspects, it's like you got spice.
Oh, so it'll be... It's like... it's a downer then. Do they put it in death sticks? Like, what's...
I don't know. Comment down below to let us know what is spice.
You want to buy some death sticks? No. You want to buy some spice? What? What? You have spice? Yeah. This is made from the bones of orphans. You're a horrible person selling this stuff. Get the speeder. We're dragging this guy.
So yeah, again, Boba is interrogating these people, basically, saying who's your leader and stuff, and he has such weird moments of mercy, giving terms, negotiating.
And
but before
drawing personal rocket launcher.
Exactly. Before he was just like, "Nah, I'm just taking you all out."
Maybe this is just this shows about a slow descent into him becoming like what's the word? Borderline personality disorder.
That's what I feel with Boba. He just switches so quickly.
Yeah.
But there's none of that. They're not recognizing that in the show.
Yeah. Well, that and that's a sign of incompetence.
Yeah.
It's like, I will give you mercy. I'll blow up a fleeing opponent. Like, it's really jarring.
Yeah, because my notes here are really true. It's like, so he'll negotiate with his people and talk and whatever, but then he'll go into a room and punch up everyone without saying anything, and then leave.
Yeah.
Like, he won't be like, I want to go in peaceful. I'm taking your speeders and there's nothing you can do about it. And then just, like, do what you need to do. But instead he just goes in and beats them all up and then leaves.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you guys shot on me, but you know what? We're going to negotiate and form a trade.
Yeah. You could have had some moral ambiguity. What if they were just regular people at the bar? It's like, hey, I need to borrow your speeders. It's for a thing. And then you could have paid them back later with the stuff they got from the trade. Who knows?
Spice, legit.
Yeah. Pay them back in hardcore narcotics. Sir, I'm a farmer. What am I meant to do with this?
Plant it. You'll make some good money.
Start farming narcotics. Kids, don't do drugs. Jedi don't. It's not the Jedi way.
Yeah. And so that all happens, and then they go back to camp, and he gets a gift. You get a gift. Why do I get a gift?
Yeah.
He was like taken aback.
Yeah, he had it was basically a much more painful version of peyote.
Yeah.
You know, it was like ayahuasca, but in a lizard.
Yeah, lizard just...
It broke the blood-brain barrier and gave him a trip. What the hell?
That's some strong stuff. Also, okay, if that's a Sam Person tradition, again with the black melons, which I've now learned is what they're called, how does the lizard go in the sand people? Does it go through their eye hole?
No, it's a little mouth hole.
Like it just scurries through?
Yep. It'd be funny if it was fatal to humans.
That's the other thing I thought of. I'm like, okay, this is a Sam Person tradition. What if certain aliens can't handle this? What if the spice is too strong or what?
What if they had a black melon that was like a different color and it's like, hey, drink this, it's a gift. And then he had this trip, you know? It was a bad trip, I'd say. Trips shouldn't give you flashbacks to childhood parents leaving, you know?
And being decapitated and stuff like that.
Yeah, and being trapped back down in that pit.
But I was happy. I was like, great. Okay, Boba's getting a vision. He's going to have an objective. We're going to understand what his purpose is now being the crime lord in Jabba's palace.
I did appreciate the tree part, though, in the trip.
Yeah.
Because I've literally experienced... I'm not kidding, I have experienced that.
Yeah.
You trip, you see the tree. Tree of Life. You've heard of the Tree of Life thing, right?
Yeah.
You go, you see the tree, man. Anyway, so I appreciate that. But it was a real tree, so it's not really relevant.
Yeah, because then he just gets a stick.
Yeah. Okay, the thing is, though, right? Sorry to focus too much on this trip. I asked about the drugs a lot before. Okay, there's a clear theme going here, right? But he went to the tree, and then all of a sudden he's like being crushed by it. Could you imagine if you were a person just watching that happen in real life? It's like, the tree's attacking, you know?
Like, I'm back in the sun,
and then he broke a branch off and starts strangling himself with it. Like, what the hell is going on? This guy's insane. Is it the Whomping Willow? Like, what?
I don't know. And then when he goes back to the Sand People, has a stick, and then the lizard comes out, and he's like, oh, I thought that was part of the dream. I don't think you needed that.
Yeah.
That kind of shows that he's a bit,
Well, to be fair, he had a lizard crawling around his brain.
I know.
Maybe that's where the BPD came from.
It's kind of... I mean, it makes more sense, for example, in The Matrix, when they have the slug. Do you remember that?
The little thing in his belly.
Yeah, and they, like, take it out, and he's like, oh, that was real?
Yeah, that made sense.
Like, that was cool,
Yeah.
but him saying, oh, I thought it was part of the dream, you know it wasn't. That's the whole reason why he had the trip. So, that's just something that, as a script reviewer, I would have been like, nah, just take it out, you don't need it.
Yep.
And now we have Mando Boba, which is the Boba Fett that we saw Mandalorian when he appeared with the hood. He's got the whole get-up now. He makes his stick. What are your thoughts?
He looks like the bad guy in a Western, which is pretty cool, but he's not. He's the good guy.
He's the good guy, is he?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm the bad guy.
But then he goes and makes and works the stick on a workbench.
Stick good.
Stick very good.
I actually did like that. I like the fact that it shows him building this weapon and they're like showing him how to do it. But it should have come out looking like a piece of crap. It's his first time. You know? Why not just have the guy make it, you know? Yeah.
I'm not sure. But I had a thought, right? The Sand People, they have this wonderful workbench that they can woodwork, they can do metal work. Why aren't they... Like, they obviously can make a really fine weapon. Why can't they be like legit craftspeople and start selling their goods and stuff?
Because every time someone comes to visit, they start shooting at them.
No! But like, that's just the thing. I was like, okay, you got this crazy resource of a workbench. Why not use it for more than just making fancy sticks?
Look, I'm sure if, you know, the Mujahideen started making like really fancy AKs, they wouldn't want to sell them, you know?
Yeah. My one idea was that maybe there was a problem with resources, like there wasn't enough wood in the desert.
Yeah, they have to put a lizard in their nose to find the tree.
But then I
almost
realised every night they have a fire.
Oh yeah! Where are all these trees at?
Several fires. And they've always got wood. So, another inconsistency there of, where does it come from? Because you don't see any... you don't even see logs.
Yeah.
All you see is dunes and, like, rocky hills in, like, A New Hope and stuff.
Yeah. What if they're burning, like, what if they showed, like, burning the black melons when they were done drinking or something like that? That could work.
That makes sense. But, again, you could kind of see the bits of wood that they were burning on. So,
Yeah.
it's just something that I was like, they don't have resources. But wait, they do. Plus, there's off-planet people. I know there's, like, this probably societal thing where people don't like sand people, but I feel like if you really wanted to, there was a way that you can negotiate with people who are off-world and you could start trading with them.
What do you call it? Did Mandalorian Man did? Mando.
Yeah,
He's rocked up and was like, "Hey, they're here," and the guy freaked out. It's like,
yeah. So, and then they all do a nice little dance.
Yeah, which I thought was cool. I like the dance. I liked how it didn't all just start off immediately.
With everyone doing it together.
Yeah, it was like a slow thing. Yeah,
so,
it was cool.
It was cool. So thoughts on the episode?
I liked all. I like the stuff with the sand people for the most part. Sometimes, especially the first episode, didn't make sense. I liked a lot of the stuff with the sand people in here. The sand people are cool. I like them. They look cool. They're more reasonable in this than they are in the older Star Wars stuff.
Well, they do talk about like how their tribe is hidden. Like they're people who hide because everyone else is very bloodthirsty.
Yeah, very inconspicuous shooting at pod races during like a televised match. Yeah.
So for me, okay, that made more sense when I heard that. It's like, okay, this tribe is more peaceful. Although, they still took a slave and did some stuff.
Well, to be fair, they didn't... Only the kids beat him up, okay? They didn't like hang him upside down and start skinning him. They just like, hey, kids, go beat the slave up, see how he reacts.
Yeah. So, I'm coming to terms more with this tribe and how they react. And it does make sense that Boba is going to have more of a tribal approach to things because he's been the Sand People. I just think that we needed to have more of a transition from... We didn't see, like, original Return of the Jedi Boba at the start of this TV show coming out of the Sark Pack.
No,
it was already Boba that we saw at the start of Mandalorian, basically. His character hasn't changed or developed.
In fact, it looks like he's getting younger.
Yeah. Because
he was all messed up. And I guess maybe he was burnt from the acid thing. But
Yeah. But then once he washes it off, he's looking younger again. So, yeah. And again, I just think there needs to be more motive. I think... If this show was fully on the Sand People, and we weren't just going back and forth, I'd be okay with it, because it's okay, you're trying to make trust with this tribe, and then next episode you'd start learning about his motives and what he needs to do, his vision, his overall goal. But because we're going back and forth between where he was and where he is now, in both aspects, there's no goal.
He could become a pretty damn successful crime lord.
Yeah.
If he implements the Sand People. These guys know the
Legit!
dudes. Yeah.
And even the different tribes, I'm sure if you tell other Sand People, hey, join our bigger tribe and we'll give you resources,
we have
you
a
can have your
castle.
land.
We'll protect you from these douchebags
You can
going around.
have what you want.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. They should do that. Has the whole series come out?
No, we're nearly fully there. But just to let you know, we go a bit off on another tangent in the show.
I've heard. I haven't seen it though, but I've heard. I've seen some shots, right?
Yeah.
But implement the Sand People. They're your mates. They have a great knowledge of the area. You have your own little army out there,
and you respect them too. Stop trying to get other people to be your tribe when you've already got your tribe.
Yeah.
It's like having a family and then leaving them and being like, hey, you want to be my sibling?
Yeah.
You want to be my chief dad? No. You've already got one!
Yeah.
Go hang with them!
They're and you bonded through, blood and sweat,
Yeah.
That would be bloody cool. If it shows the actual... him building a crime empire, implementing the Sand People into Tatooine culture, and the clashes between the Tatooine criminal underbelly and the Sand People and Boba being in the middle. That'd be awesome. But no, instead we get, Mandalorian season 2.5, some girl on a speeder and some people on other fancy speeders.
Yeah, I think that's the next episode we start seeing that.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah. Look, we'll save it for next episode. But yeah, I enjoyed this episode more than the last one.
Yep.
I think that they had some really good ideas. They just should have spent more time on the story and understanding the characters to flesh it out more.
Yeah. I think I definitely am going to enjoy this episode more than the next one and the first one. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's been our episode 2.
That's it. That's
Review.
episode 2. Now, we always seem to end these in either a really awkward or sudden way. Let's cut there. That could be a running meme.